So we recently took one of our clients from making around $8,000 or $9,000 a month with a low ticket community to hitting just under $97,000, and we did this in 30 days. So as you can see here, my client was making around like £6,000 or £7,000 per month. This was in April, so the month before. From the 1st of April to the 30th of April, he made 6,500 GBP, which is just under $9,000. And then as you can see in the month of May, we did from the 1st of May to the 31st of May, 65,600 in cash collected, 114,000 in revenue. So this is people who have paid in installments. So this is cash that we're going to be collecting in the future. We didn't actually have any financing for this launch, which makes this even more impressive. We had no financing. That was just preference of the creator. And then we also did 6,700 from the low ticket from May 1st to May 31st. So if you add that together, you get 72,000 GBP, which is just under 97,000 USD. So as you can see, we have literally 10x'd this coaching business in a matter of 30 days. And so the whole purpose of this video is going to be me breaking down what we did to do this. And hopefully, if there's something you could take for your own coaching business, you can implement it yourself. So Ahmed had real skill. Like, the thing which helped with this launch is that Ahmed is actually a really good trader. He had lots of trust already built with his audience. He has real results. He makes good money trading, and he has good student results as well from his previous low ticket. He was charging £55 a month for his previous low ticket, which is like ridiculous for the amount of value people are getting. He used to even do one-to-one calls for the £55 a month. So he had some really good results from that, which we're able to leverage for the higher ticket launch, but he was only making $9,000 a month. He had no systems, like all he had was a WAP link in bio. There was like no back-end selling systems behind it, no leverage, no team. Everything was being run by himself. And obviously he had capped earnings because even though his program was so good for just £55 a month, like churn is naturally going to happen when you are selling a low ticket offer. People are going to leave, and the LTV from his low ticket was something ridiculous. It was like £90. So on average, people are staying less than 2 months. So for him to be able to hit 100k a month with a low ticket, he would have needed thousands of members in there, and to be continuously getting in hundreds of students every month just to maintain that. And what makes this even more impressive is Ahmed only has 12,000 followers on Instagram and 4,000 on YouTube. And he actually had less when we did this launch, because this is about data now. We did this launch almost 2 months ago now. So he had even less. He had like 10k on Insta and like 3.5k on YouTube. And now Ahmed has a coaching business that turns views into cash predictably. It's not just like random spikes of revenue. Like, we know when we're gonna hit 100k a month. We have a very clear plan on how we're gonna scale to consistent 100k months. He's got a team running the entire sales side of things on autopilot. Obviously, I'm doing the marketing. We have a sales manager. We've got a great team of sellers and closers. Everyone's locked in. He doesn't have to even worry about that. He hardly even shows up to team calls anymore. Like, everything's running without him, you know? Um, we generate in high 5 figures to 6 figures per month consistently. And we have systemized fulfillment with 2 CSMs, which I helped him. I didn't really help him hire. They were people from the low ticket, but I helped him with like the pay structure, all that kind of stuff, how we can kind of like integrate them to make the coaching more manageable for him. And even a custom student dashboard, which we actually built out for him. Like, my agency, we completely done for you build this out. I'm going to touch on that later. Um, and the coaching actually gets good results, because when people are paying £55 a month, they're not financially invested. And the thing is with trading, like, trading is pretty hard. But when someone is paying 3k, 4k, you know, they're actually invested. And so the results we're getting from the high ticket mentorship already just 2 months in have been insane. And he actually enjoys coaching now, because before he was coaching like absolute retards, like people who would show up, they were just gambling, they were just like posting memes in the Discord. Like, none of these guys were serious. Now he's coaching people who are actually serious about making trading work. They actually listen to what he says. So he told me himself, he finds coaching much more enjoyable now. Another big thing as well is Ahmed was actually like very hesitant to launch a high ticket mentorship before, because he had a lot of like limiting beliefs around selling high ticket. He thought it might ruin his reputation. He might look like a guru or a scammer. This obviously just isn't the case. Like now Ahmed realizes that this isn't the case. Hopefully I'm going to be doing a in-person case study so you can hear this from himself. But he was scared that like selling high ticket, it would make people like call him a scammer and whatnot. If you look at all the big guys, everyone's selling high ticket. It's where the money is. People actually get good results as well. Like now people are going to get such good results from his high ticket community that no one can call him a scammer because he's going to have so many results. He's not teaching time wasters. As I said before, if someone's paying 4K for a mentorship, they're actually serious. They're actually going to put in the work. He doesn't have to coach thousands of people like he did before. And he doesn't have to spend all his time on it because obviously all the backend stuff is sorted, marketing is sorted, sales is sorted. He's got 2 CSMs now because he's actually making enough from the coaching where he can afford to hire other coaches. So all he really has to do is post content and do a bit of the coaching as well. So he's actually spending less of his time on it and making significantly more money. So I've prepared 3 kind of pillars of what we did to make this launch happen. So I'm going to be breaking down less so of like the content strategy side of things, and more so like the actual like sales and marketing side of things on how we did this launch. There were no paid ads, there was no financing, very small organic audience, and we were still able to hit 100K in a single month. So that kind of just goes to show how good like the sales process, the marketing process was for this launch. So let's just jump straight into it. Right. So pre-launch foundations. I would say 75% of the reason this launch did so well is because of what we did before the launch. The extensive research that me and my team put into this launch was just insane. Like no other growth operators are doing the amount of research that we did before the launch. And that is why like we had people on the onboarding forms saying stuff like this. All the stories and stuff you're posting about the vault, it literally felt like you knew my problems better than me. People are literally saying that it felt like we knew their problems better than they did themselves. And the reason we were able to do that is because of how extensive and how detailed the process was of like the market research before the actual launch. So the main things we were trying to figure out were who are we helping? Like who is the actual ICP? What are their biggest pain points? What are their biggest desires? How much money are they making? How much money do they want to be making? What do they need specifically to be able to bridge them from their current situation to the desired situation? So that's like what the actual offer could be. And then what objections slash limiting beliefs do they have? This was massive because Ahmed's never sold high ticket before. We didn't have any sales call transcripts, which we could just say, give us our top objections and like use those. We had to figure out the objections on our own. And so that obviously comes down to the market research. So we did some polls like this on Instagram, like what you struggling most in your trading. We even got a DM setter to go through all his conversations, like previous conversations that he's had with people, questions people have been asking. We did Discord polls. And then me and my team even went out of our way to jump on calls with people from the Discord and get their actual feedback, because polls are obviously good to get like large amounts of quantitative data, but for you to get like actual detailed qualitative data, you need to jump on calls with people. So we did that, and then we compiled all of that data into these brand sheets. So we have dream follower slash ICP, brand identity, business identity, industry identity, competitor research, the new opportunity, and then the client voice kit. You can see we put these all into Claude. Our kind of like Claude project SOPs are just absolutely insane. Like we have like basically coded projects which like know everything about the offer owner, everything about our ICP, and then we create a marketing directive SOP, which is like a massive document. It's got like 200 pages, just breaking down absolutely everything on how we can hit the ICP and like make the marketing so specific to our ICP's exact problems. And I feel like that's kind of what we do best compared to a lot of growth operators. A lot of growth operators will kind of just do some surface level market research, and then in the marketing it will just be like, oh, do you want time, location, and financial freedom? Or do you want to retire your parents? No, we know like exactly what our ICP is saying. And we knew what percentage of the audience were beginners, intermediate, advanced traders, whether they had funded passes yet or not. Like we just understood their problems and their goals so well. I can't stress that enough. That is, without this, none of this would have worked. Like we would have been posting Discord announcements, story sequences. even our sales call, a script, none of it would have like actually made ICP resonate with it. And so all of this comes down to this. So second thing we did was actually like creating an offer, because obviously Ahmed had been charging £55 a month before this. So we need to create something that's valuable enough so that even people that were in the low ticket before will still want to convert on the high ticket. So we charged £3,000 as like a kind of starter offer. We've now like completely changed our pricing structure. We have 3 tiers. We have £700 for the low ticket instead of 55 a month. We have 2K for the standard group coaching, and then 4K for the one-on-one coaching. And that's all in GBP, by the way. So we were charging 3K GBP for the one-on-one coaching. So yeah, we had to figure out how to make it valuable enough to differentiate the two offers. So first thing we did was we created a Discord channel, for like a new Discord channel, which was separate to the old one. We create automations that whenever someone joins, like all of their details get put in here. And then this is the custom platform that we actually built for Ahmed. Like I had my backend guy build this for Ahmed. This just made the program seem so much more valuable. Like, cool, it's Claude coded. I know obviously it's Claude coded, but this is actually valuable. Like people are using this, like everyone in the vault is using this, and they can log their trades, all the courses in here. The coaches can come in here and like see their journals, so they can like review their journals very easily, rather than some people having on like Notion, some people on Google Sheets. Yeah, they can log their trades. There's a leaderboard. So this is pretty sick, and this helps us make the offer seem more valuable. The next part was the backend build out. So obviously when you're selling high ticket, there's a lot more that goes into it than just putting like a WAP link in bio. So we had to build out the CRM, like all the smart views in the CRM, all the different like tags and leads, all the Zapiers. We had some, I think there was like 25 Zapiers. My backend guy handles all of this. Many chat automations, the Slack channel for the sales team, obviously the Slack messages when a new lead comes in, and then tracking sheet, which is absolutely fucking cracked. We've now actually moved this over to our own custom dashboard, but we were still using the Airtable dashboard for this launch. So you can see like we've got show rate, 74%, close rate, 44%, qualified close rate. This was like halfway through the launch, I think, like 2 weeks in. We've got AOV, revenue per call, disqualified per live call, and then below this we can actually see like individual sellers and closers performance. This is kind of just what like ties everything together. Like if you don't have this, you can't track anything, you don't know where the bottlenecks are, so this is super important. Then in terms of the actual funnel foundations, so for this launch we had a lot of different traffic sources. The biggest traffic source was the free Discord. Obviously that was very, very valuable for this launch. So we had the YouTube, the paid Discord, the free Discord, the TikTok, and the Instagram. So we did marketing on all those channels. We pushed everyone to the VSL landing page, which I'm going to break down in a second. And then from there, application, booked call, pre-call landing page, SDR triage call. If they're qualified, they get sent through the pre-call email sequence, and then added to a WhatsApp group chat where the closer will send a voice note or a video just introducing themselves. This helps a lot with sharp rate and close rate. It gets people like excited for the call. They know who they're speaking to. And then obviously the closing call. If they're unqualified, then we would get the setter to downsell them on the low ticket over WhatsApp. Our team structure, we had 3 closers, we had 2 SDRs, and then 1 DM setter. We had a great sales manager, shout out Orion. He basically handled the entire sales side of things, worked very, very closely with the sellers, with the closers. We had all these SOPs built out for the sales team beforehand. So we were training these guys up for like 2 weeks before the launch. So by the time the launch came, these guys already knew exactly. They knew everything about the offer. They had great product knowledge and knew every objection they could face. Like these guys were basically so ready before the launch that by the time the launch came, it was just bread and butter. And then in terms of the actual funnel build out, simple stuff, nothing crazy. We had a simple VSL funnel. We framed it as a waitlist in the beginning, which I'll go over later. And the only reason we did this, like we didn't do an actual waitlist funnel because in my opinion, there's just no point. Like I would rather just do a straight VSL funnel. The only reason we framed it as a waitlist for the first week, I think it was around the first week, was because we didn't want to get a ton of calls in the first week and then just none for the rest of the launch. Like it's just to kind of like space out the call volume so that the closers aren't just absolutely bombarded in the first week. So yeah, we framed as the waitlist in the like marketing for the first week. VSL, once again, the VSL was scripted because of all the work we did in the beginning before the launch. That's how we had such a good VSL. And then once someone had applied, obviously they would get taken to book a call. If they didn't book a call, obviously the setter would call them, book them on. If they did, obviously the setter will go and triage them. Once they had booked in, they would get redirected to our pre-call page. We had a pre-call VSL. This is just like 4 minutes, pre-handling objections, making sure they like pick up when the appointment setter calls them, kind of framing the call so they know like why we've done a call. The way we did our marketing with this, like it was so good that people were literally like showing up to these calls like so excited. Like our closers had said like they had never seen leads this excited. And that's because we framed this community as so like tight knit and such a small group of people, but like not in a sense of like, oh, 5 spots left, like with actual like real scarcity. Because we said the whole way we frame the vault is like it's a serious group of like actually disciplined traders. Unlike all the discords you've been in before where there's like 2,000 people, everyone's on serious, everyone's gambling. It's a tight-knit community of disciplined traders. And so because of that, we need to do like an application to see if you're someone that we would actually let into the vault. So this meant when people were showing up to calls, they like we already had such good frame as well on these sales calls because people feel like they need to prove themselves, and people were opening up way more about like why they are a good fit and like why they're so hungry to win with trading. Like they were doing this themselves. We didn't have to probe them because of the way we had framed the call. We also did this in the breakout videos. We had 6 breakout videos. Once again, these were not just random questions that I got from Claude or ChatGPT. These are thought out questions, FAQs that we knew we were going to get based on the market research we did beforehand. Obviously, all of this has changed now because we've had over 100 sales calls, so we can get the data from that. But this is what we had for the launch. So how long will it take to see results? All of these are short 1-minute videos just pre-handling objections. How is the vault different from signals or other groups? What if I'm just not capable of doing this? Why do I need a mentor? Can't I just learn this on YouTube? I've been trading for a while, but I'm still not profitable. Why? What happens if I keep making the same mistakes inside the vault? So all of that, obviously we had some case studies from the low ticket as well. All of that is on the pre-call page. And then we had the pre-call emails. So we had 8 pre-call emails. We actually had like 12 or 14 because we sent some through as just reminders, but these were like actual value emails before the call. And all of these, once again, are just designed to pre-handle objections, frame the call, frame how limited and how much of a good opportunity this is. Just get people ready for the calls that by the time they show up to the call, it's just easy piffs. And then in terms of the actual launch marketing, what we did is we did like a very long sequence of story sequences. Ahmed had never sold high ticket before. He's never really pushed out CTAs before. So it's not like we're going to burn his audience, you know? So we were able to just hammer out CTAs every single day for, I think, yeah, 14 days. I think it was 16 in total because we did one week out, we did another 1 week out. These were just to kind of like whisper, like kind of tease it a little bit, like just letting people know there's something coming. Then in terms of the actual like sequence, day 1, obviously we're just teasing it. Like I'll explain more soon before I launch. I want to get some feedback from you guys. We did a poll beneath that. Day 2, little story. 2 years ago is exactly where you are. Fast forward 2 years, etc., etc., etc. It's built through systems plus environment. I'll be revealing more soon. Once again, we're just teasing it. Day 3, yeah, day 3 and day 4, same thing again, just teasing it. And then waitlist opens tomorrow. Then we did the waitlist launch. So we did 3 story sequences, and then we actually did a carousel post as well. The reason why we do a carousel post is because not everyone is going to see your stories, but a carousel will get way more views, and also this obviously stays up past 24 hours. So we've deleted this now, but this was up on his page for like the whole month of May. Same thing again, DM me for the application. We did a story sequence with like a poll. Obviously, we answered these questions ourselves. How do I join? How many live calls will there be? How is this different from premium? Why is it so limited? Is it more for beginners or everyone? Results. Like this is framed as organic content, but it's literally just designed to pre-handle objections, create urgency, basically get people to book in a call. So you can see like, how is this different from premium? In the vault, you get access to my full approach, my new content, one-to-one plan with me, live VODs, live morning calls, live Sunday sessions, trade and mental reviews for myself, personalized execution plan in order to succeed, mindset coaches. All bad habits will be eliminated. We're going to enforce a high standard of trading. No more messing about with dumb mistakes. The accountability you've been missing in here. That's another massive angle we took for this launch, was selling people on the accountability and the psychology side of things rather than just the strategy, because that's what everyone else would be doing. And then obviously we had the main launch story sequences as well. On top of that, obviously all the Discord story sequences, all of these were scripted out by me and my copywriter. All of these were designed by my team. So Ahmed didn't have to worry about anything. He just read over them, made sure he approved them, and then posted them. We obviously did a little video as well to tease it. And yeah, that's basically like everything we did for this launch. Pretty simple stuff. As I said in the beginning, the main thing is we just understood our ICP so well, what they wanted, like what they were actually looking for in a program, what experience they had, what goals they had, what limiting beliefs, what objections they had. We understood this stuff so well that everything else just became easy. And now to scale this to consistent 6 figures a month, obviously we're going to be dialing in the organic content, really working on the YouTube. We've got a sick plan coming for his YouTube on how we're going to grow the YouTube. We're also going to be doing monthly webinars. So you can see we've got one of these ready. We're going to be running this soon. Hopefully there'll be another case study after that webinar. And then we're also going to be starting to run paid ads for these webinars so that we can just kind of expand his total addressable market for the offer. Now, if you have a coaching business, or even if you're just someone who is making money in some sort of business and you are thinking about potentially starting a coaching business, and you think any of this would help you, obviously we don't just do launches, we also scale existing offers with organic, with paid, with webinar funnels. So yeah, if any of this does sound interesting, it sounds like something that could help you, I've got my Instagram in the link in bio. Go DM me on Instagram, send me a message, we'll have a chat in the DMs, and if it makes sense, we can jump on a call. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to have a lot more content coming out soon. Everyone keeps telling me I need to start posting my results. I've always been kind of like not really wanting to post content, but everyone keeps telling me I need to start posting results. So you're going to see a lot of content coming soon. But yeah, appreciate you for watching this video, and take care.